Welcome to Trending Now USA, and I am Bella. In the world of women's tennis, where power, precision, and pressure collide on the global stage, few players have commanded as much quiet respect and growing intrigue as Elena Rybakina. Known for her calm demeanor, ice-cold focus, and devastating serve, Rybakina has often let her tennis do the talking. But now, in a moment that has sent ripples across the sport, she is opening up in a way fans and rivals alike did not expect. What she has revealed pulls back the curtain on the realities of competing at the very top, exposing truths that are rarely spoken aloud in public and challenging long-held assumptions about some of the biggest names in the game. For years, Elena Rybakina has been perceived as reserved, even mysterious. She rarely courts controversy, avoids flashy soundbites, and keeps her emotions tightly controlled on court. That is exactly why her recent comments have sparked such intense conversation. Coming from someone who has shared locker rooms, practice courts, and high-stakes matches with the sports elite, her words carry a weight that cannot be dismissed. This is not speculation from the outside. This is insight from within the inner circle of the WTA Tour. Rybakina's rise itself is a story of quiet determination. From her early days navigating the junior circuit to her breakthrough on the biggest stages, she has steadily built her game without relying on hype. When she captured her first Grand Slam title, many saw it as a stunning moment. But those who followed her closely understood it was the product of years of disciplined work, mental resilience, and an ability to block out noise. That same discipline now shapes the way she speaks about her rivals, not with bitterness, but with honesty. At the heart of Rybakina's revelations is a truth that many fans rarely consider: the gap between public image and private reality. From the outside, top players appear confident, united, and supportive of one another. Press conferences are filled with polite praise, respectful nods, and carefully chosen words. But behind the scenes, according to Rybakina, the environment is far more complex. Competition is relentless, and psychological games are as much a part of the sport as forehands and backhands. Rybakina has spoken about the intense pressure that surrounds top-ranked players, not just to win, but to maintain an image. She suggests that some of her rivals project an aura of invincibility that does not always match how they feel internally. In private moments, doubts creep in. Fear of losing points, slipping in rankings, or falling out of favor with sponsors can weigh heavily. According to Rybakina, this pressure sometimes manifests in ways fans never see: cold interactions, guarded conversations, and a constant sense of comparison. One of the most striking elements of her comments is the way she addresses respect on tour. She acknowledges that while mutual respect exists, it is not always equal or unconditional. Younger or quieter players, she hints, are sometimes underestimated or overlooked, especially by those accustomed to dominating headlines. Rybakina's own experience of being underestimated early in her career has clearly shaped her perspective. She recalls moments when opponents seemed surprised by her level, only to shift their attitude once she proved she could beat them consistently. This shift, Rybakina explains, reveals another uncomfortable truth: success changes relationships. Friendly conversations can cool. Practice partners become more selective. Praise becomes more measured. She does not frame this as personal betrayal, but rather as a natural consequence of elite competition. When every match can alter rankings and legacies, friendships are inevitably strained. Rybakina also touches on the psychological warfare that takes place during matches. From extended bathroom breaks to deliberate pacing between points, she suggests that some players rely heavily on disrupting rhythm rather than pure shot-making. While these tactics are legal, she questions the spirit behind them. Her tone is not accusatory but reflective. She emphasizes that learning to deal with these challenges has been a crucial part of her development as a competitor. What makes her perspective particularly compelling is her refusal to portray herself as a victim. Instead, Rybakina frames these experiences as lessons. She credits tough matches against top rivals with sharpening her mental strength. Facing opponents who test her patience and resilience has forced her to grow not just as an athlete, but as a person. In her view, The tour is a proving ground where character is revealed over time. Another significant point Rybakina raises concerns media narratives. She suggests that storytelling in tennis often favors certain personalities and markets, creating a hierarchy of attention that does not always reflect performance. Some players, she notes, receive disproportionate coverage regardless of results, while others must win repeatedly to earn recognition. This imbalance, she believes, can subtly influence how players are perceived by fans, officials, and even fellow competitors. Rybakina's comments have resonated strongly with fans who appreciate authenticity. In an era where athletes are often media-trained to avoid controversy, her willingness to speak candidly feels refreshing. She does not name names, but the implications are clear enough to spark debate. Social media has been flooded with discussions about which rivals she might be referring to and whether her observations reflect broader issues within women's tennis. Beyond individual rivalries, Rybakina also sheds light on the emotional toll of constant travel and isolation. Life on tour, she explains, can be lonely despite being surrounded by people. Players move from country to country, hotel to hotel, rarely settling long enough to feel grounded. Support systems are often limited to small teams, and moments of vulnerability are usually hidden. This environment, she suggests, contributes to the guarded behavior seen among top players. Her reflections on mental health are particularly poignant. While acknowledging that the conversation around mental well-being has improved in recent years, Rybakina believes there is still a long way to go. She notes that admitting struggle is still seen by some as a sign of weakness, especially for those at the top. This pressure to appear strong at all times can exacerbate stress and anxiety. Rybakina's own approach, she says, has been a focus on simplicity. Keeping her circle small, maintaining routines, and staying connected to her core values have helped her navigate the chaos. She emphasizes the importance of separating self-worth from results, a lesson she learned through difficult losses as much as through victories. This mindset, she believes, has allowed her to remain grounded even as expectations rise. The reaction from within the tennis community has been mixed, but largely respectful. Some fellow players have subtly echoed her sentiments, hinting that her words reflect shared experiences. Others have remained silent, perhaps wary of fueling controversy. Regardless, her comments have undeniably opened space for more honest conversations about the realities of professional tennis. Rybakina also addresses the idea of rivalry itself. While fans often crave dramatic rivalries defined by animosity, she views rivalry as something more nuanced. For her, the greatest rival is not another player, but the internal battle to improve and remain consistent. External rivalries, she suggests, are often exaggerated by media narratives that thrive on conflict. Yet she does not deny the intensity of facing certain opponents. Matches against top rivals, she admits, come with added emotional weight. The preparation is more detailed, the stakes higher. But rather than focusing on who is across the net, she tries to center her attention on execution and mindset. This inward focus, she believes, is what ultimately separates champions from contenders. As her career continues to evolve, Rybakina's willingness to speak openly marks a new chapter. She is no longer just the quiet powerhouse delivering aces and baseline winners. She is becoming a voice, measured, thoughtful, and unafraid to challenge comfortable narratives. This evolution reflects her growing confidence not just in her game, but in her identity. For fans, her revelations offer a deeper appreciation of what it takes to compete at the highest level. The glamour of Grand Slam trophies and packed stadiums often overshadows the daily grind, the mental battles, and the complex relationships that define life on tour. Rybakina's perspective pulls those hidden elements into the light. Looking ahead, many are wondering whether her honesty will influence others to speak more freely. Will more players challenge the polished facade of professional tennis? Will conversations about respect, pressure, and mental health become more transparent? Rybakina's comments suggest that the time may be right for such a shift. What remains clear is that Elena Rybakina's legacy is being shaped not only by her results, but by her authenticity. In exposing uncomfortable truths, she is not tearing down the sport she loves, but calling for a more honest understanding of it. Her words remind us that behind every powerful serve and match-winning forehand is a human being navigating an extraordinary, demanding world. As the season moves forward and rivalries continue to unfold on court, fans will watch Rybakina with renewed interest. Not just for her tennis, but for the quiet strength and clarity she brings to a sport often defined by noise. In speaking her truth, she has added a new dimension to her story, one that resonates far beyond the baseline. This has been Trending Now USA, and I am Bella, bringing you the stories behind the headlines, where the real game is often played away from the spotlight.